Yo, we're the Zone Runners, and this time we're at Pumpkin Hill. You ain't ready.
I ain't gonna let it get to me. I'm just gonna creep down in Pumpkin Hill. I got to find my lost piece. I know that it's here, I can sense it in my feet. The great emerald's power allows me to feel. I can't see a thing, but it's around somewhere. I'm gonna hold my head cause I have no fear. Probably seems crazy, a graveyard theory, but a ghost tried to approach me and got leery.
Asked him a question and he vanished in a second. I'm walking through valleys, crying pumpkins in the alleys. It didn't seem happy, but they sure tried to get me. Had to back him up with the fist, metal crackling. I'm hearing someone saying use a chicken, don't be scared. It had to be the wind cause nobody wasn't there. I searched and I searched as I climbed up the wall, and then I started to fly, I went in deeper.
Let it get to me, I'm just gonna creep down in Pumpkin Hill, I got to find my lost piece. I know that it's it, I can sense it in my feet. The great emerald's power allows me to feel. Can't see a thing, but it's around somewhere. Gonna hold my head cause I got nothing to fear. It's probably seems crazy, brave the theory. A ghost tried to approach me and got leery.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. It is me, Dukect, here on the Dukect Lounge. It's not live this week because TalkShoe is being a little bit wonky, and I have too much stuff to do and not too much time to do it in. So I'm going to do this thing quick, fast, and in a hurry. So hopefully you guys will like it, and I can get this stuff right out of the way quickly. Let's talk a little about something. These cup shows, this show, and such, and hopefully you guys will like me talking about the recent WWE pay-per-view, the Raw afterwards, and some news about the PC release, the PC re-release of Batman Arkham Knight. So let's get this started on the WWE latest pay-per-view. I'm going to review that. WWE Hell in a Cell. Well, this was a very mediocre pay-per-view. Not many things, I'm like, oh my gosh, you have to go see it. The show was, well, okay. There wasn't really like, like any like match that I'm still going to probably go and see again. But there was some good stuff here. Really good stuff here. I'm not talking about the 6-man tab because it's a kickoff show, and let me tell you, if it's good on if there were anyone good on there, they would be on the main show. That's my usual policy. But since this relates to what happens on Raw anyway, I'm still not going to talk about it because Dolph Ziggler, Cesaro never win, and I don't care. But the main thing that happened in the first match of the night, you had John Cena defending the WWE United States Championship, the United States Open Challenge, against a surprising return of Zed Coulter and the return of Alberto Del Rio, which is surprisingly because last time I checked, boys and girls, that El Patreon, the boss, it calls El Patreon Alberto, aka the boss, the boss Alberto. He is he was supposedly AAA, as he is the AAA Mega Champion. He is the Mega Champion. The AAA Mega Championship. And he is, I'm not kidding you, he is the champion. He is the champion. Right now, it is El Patreon Alberto. He is still the AAA Mega Champion. Wow. Just wow. I hope he he should have dropped it before he went to the WWE again, which is surprising because I don't know what happened, why he's back in the WWE again. Maybe they got rid of the social media guy. So maybe that was the reason why he was. In fact, but then again, before his whole thing, he was winding down. He was basically going to leave and do his stuff anyway. That whole racism stuff got the whole thing buzzing. And I think, lit a fire under him and lit fire everybody else saying, oh, we want Alberto, we miss Alberto, and everything else. And I heard some really good stuff on AAA and Lucha Underground. But looks like he is back in the WWE, and Zeb Coulter is his manager. I don't even know what's happening, but it's very interesting. And I hope he probably drops the title soon, or maybe they're going to do some cross promotion, which is very interesting. And now, the match was, well, if you've ever seen the John Cena Alberto Del Rio match, this is what it is. Very boring, very, very formulaic, and it was really boring. I was still in shock, but then again, what really was shocking is that you had Del Rio win, not with the armbar, but he won with a super kick, and that's a secondary finisher to John Cena. I don't know what happened. That's like, what? A super kick? And I'm like, this is John Cena, where usually his matches have like 3, 4, 5 finisher kickouts. And I don't know, was Cena really injured, but he lost the belt, and it was clean. Zeb Coulter barely got involved, but Alberto Del Rio wins clean, the United States champion. And doing a Mexican America thing with Zeb Coulter. Yeah. I give this match maybe a 7 out of 10. Good match, but there was really good action here, but I just didn't really feel it. You know what I mean? Didn't really feel it. Next up is Roman Reigns taking on Bray Wyatt in Hell in a Cell. This match was actually very, very good for what it was. Very good. Very high impact moves. Roman Reigns and Bray Wyatt have, I don't know, maybe in gimmick matches they do well in, but regular matches they don't do much. I mean, people saying Roman Reigns doing great, but when's the last time Roman Reigns did anything? The last real good match he had was at WrestleMania event at WrestleMania, where him and Brock Lesnar. But then again, that was Roman Reigns getting his ass kicked majority of the time, but then hitting 3 Superman punches and 2 spears and such. That was basically the entire match until Seth Rollins came in. But Roman Reigns and Bray Wyatt have some good chemistry in these non-gimmick matches. It was really good. Very high impact moves. Roman Reigns picks up the victory. And honestly, the one thing I really wish that Roman Reigns would do is just drop. I keep saying this. He should drop the Shield stuff because it looks really. He has warmed fans back to him. I can't disagree with that. He has warmed the people back to him and everything else. He has warmed the people back to the idea of Roman Reigns becoming champion. But I feel like it would do better if he had a new theme, some new attire. And the more I think about it, the more I realize that Seth Rollins' heel turn, while surprising, has been a dud. But honestly, I think it was Roman Reigns who did it. I think if Reigns was the guy who turned heel, I think he had the personality to do it. He has that whole cool, like, Diesel type of aura with him. He could actually be really, that sort of thing. But I hope that they do something to him, because it just seems like he's still holding on with the Shield leftover. They're doing the same Shield leftovers and everything. So, yeah, I like Roman, but I wish that he could do more. I wish he could be a little bit more, the W could do a little bit more, because he can be that next guy, but I just don't think the WWE booking is really going to help him that much. But then again, you can say that for Dean, Seth, and everybody else, and Rusev, and the list goes on and on. But anyway, I did like and enjoy the match. Next up is the New Day missing Kofi Kingston, missing Xavier Woods, as Big E and Kofi Kingston defend the tag team titles with the Dudley Boys. This match was average, and it didn't help much. There was a huge botch by the Dudleys and such during the match. But in the end, you have Big E, you have Kofi Kingston trying to pull Eddie Guerrero. JC's trying to hit the tuba, and then tossed Bubba Ray the tuba thing and says he got hit by him. I was like, oh, you should call. I was like, oh, that's DQ. But that would have been funny as heck if they would have called it DQ at that. But no, it didn't happen. But in the end, the Dudleys lose via Biggie using the trombone, the end of the trombone. Both sides broke apart to retain their tag team titles. I give it like a 5 out of 10. Roman Reigns and Bray Wyatt, by the way, I give that an 8 out of 10, by the way. Roman Reigns, Bray Wyatt, Hell in a Cell match, 8 out of 10. This gets a 5 out of 10. Really average. Next up is Charlotte versus Nikki Bella. I don't really care about this. It's a Divas match. I don't care. No Divas were allowed at ringside. Yada, 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 yada. I don't care about this hashtag Diva Resolution. Don't care. Don't really like Nikki Bella. She's tries, but I don't know. I think she's been working injured. Hopefully this means she could take some time off and heal her injuries, which is something I wish most of WWE should do. I wish they should have a rotate. If your guys or gals are too hurt, they should rotate. Say, hey, you guys are hurt. We're going to rotate you. We're going to rotate you. You're going to do less. These guys are going to do more, and they're going to see to carry the burden. And some off days wouldn't hurt. I've been saying this since 2000, since I had my YouTube channel, and many other YouTube shooter, wrestler, whatever you want to call us now or whatever, has been saying this since the whole thing has began. WWE needs an off season. It needs an off season, and if they had an off season, most of these injuries, most of the burnout, and most of these guys going direction, being completely directionless would actually stop, because at least then you can refresh. They can refresh your batteries, including the writers, to actually sit down, plan, and actually do some really good shows and such for Raw, SmackDown, NXT, main event, then the pay-per-views and such. And hey, you could find programming for Raw and Smack. For that sort of thing. You can definitely find that stuff. WWE has tons of footage and such, so you can run that instead of Raw, SmackDown. Heck, if you really want to do something cool, how about bring back the WWE draft? Have Raw and SmackDown be separate again. After the whole Authority storyline ends, with a definitive end, you have both Raw and SmackDown. Have a draft. Have people actually, care about these. Have Raw, SmackDown, and actually do that again. Have separate pay-per-views, separate WWE specials on the network. You can have Raw shows, SmackDown shows, and combined pay-per-views. I love that idea. I never said end the WWE brand extension. I say bring it back, and I think you have enough. The WWE has more than enough talent to have that. They have more and enough talent, and more than enough talent to actually make this possible. That's my personal opinion. Anyway, next up is the WWE World Heavyweight Championship match. Seth Rollins taking on Kane. And if Kane loses, Copper Kane will be fired from his role as Director of Operations, and I don't really care. Both guys are completely and utterly stale. The match was really just there. It just felt like it just didn't really weigh on importance. Seth is a great wrestler, great athlete, and he needs to be taking people to tournaments. He should be fighting against guys like Dean Ambrose, or he should be fighting against guys like Cesaro, Dean Ambrose, Ziggler, guys like that in their roster, or Rusev, Sheamus, whatever. These guys, instead of these old guys, he should not be wrestling guys like John Cena. He should not be wrestling guys like Sting. I don't think he should be wrestling Kane. It's a waste of his time and talents. This match was completely boring, and I did not like it. Give us a 3 out of 10. Seth wins, but I don't really care. Next up, we have this is the shortest match, by the way. And thank goodness, because we have Kevin Owens taking on Ryback. I like Ryback. I know people hate on him. He's not, But I see wrestling as a variety stuff. Ryback got the crowd up. I loved his whole bully persona. Everybody loved him, and I loved his bully stuff. And they should do a mix of that and his stuff going back. I think he was good in a Continental Champion, even though he got himself hurt. And I know he's not the best wrestler and everything like that, but he can do some good stuff. He is somewhat talented. I like him, and I like his goofy personality. But Kevin Owens, to me, Kevin Owens and Ryback don't jive with each other. I'm here's hoping that Kevin Owens gets some really good competition later on. And hopefully something really meaningful stuff as well, the Intercontinental Champion. As it stands, this was really a short, really match that I don't really care for. And, if it's really a 5 out of 10, really average, forgettable match. Now it's time for the main event as Brock Lesnar with Paul Heyman takes on The Undertaker. This match, I have to say, was bloody, violent, and probably one of the best Hell in a Cells in recent memory. This was it. To me, this was the match that these two guys needed to finally move on from this feud that never should have been. Brock Lesnar versus Undertaker WrestleMania 30 was a crappy match. I know Undertaker had a concussion, but this match was boring, bland. That match was boring, bland, and I fell asleep. And I should not be falling asleep in an Undertaker-Brock Lesnar match. Seriously. But the rematch did redeem itself, as The Undertaker and Brock Lesnar had a really fast pace, and they had to keep that pace going, and they did. This time, they had a really fast pace going, and they went. And Brock Lesnar started bleeding. He just, he did not let the doctors fix him. He pushed the doctor away, and he kept pummeling The Undertaker. And I know Vince was upset with that, but dang it, that's what they needed to do. Brock Lesnar needed to do that. Lesnar and those guys really need to do this stuff to make it feel real, to make it to keep the pace going. In fact, if they would do that, then again, it's not as bad as was. Let's see, what was that pay-per-view? It was the ECW. Let's see, what was it? Yes, it was a TLC match between him and Shelton Benjamin, 2009. Christian defeated. It was Shelton Benjamin. Christian got busted open, I believe. I think it was Christian was bloody and such. In fact, he was so beat down and bloody, it had to stop. The match had to be stopped as the doctor was closing his wound. He was like sewing him up, doing everything else. Meanwhile, Shelton Benjamin was standing there doing nothing in a ladder match. The match was still going. He could have grabbed the ladder and become the ECW champion. I was like, get the ladder. Get the ladder. Go. I'm like, oh, well, he was ready for respect for his cup. I'm like, no. He could have won the match. And it really took the match right out of its whole game. It took the match out of its game, and it took it right out of focus. I understand you want to make sure the health of your wrestlers, the health of the people, and sometimes athletes don't know how to, take care of themselves in the heat of the moment. I get that. I get that fact. Most people get that fact. But in the middle of a show, you have to keep doing, as long as it's not catastrophic injury, as long as it's not like, oh my gosh, they're all going to destroy each other, you let them go, you let them fight, you let them go out, you let them go out against each other. That's how I go. That's how I roll. And with Lesnar and Undertaker, they did that for the most part. And this match was honestly, I think, was probably one of the best of the recent matches. It was a lot better than SummerSlam, and you had the right guy win. You had the right guy win in Brock Lesnar. Lesnar wins, and this hopefully means he's moved on. At this point with Lesnar, I don't mind him becoming champion again. I think Seth Rollins is a complete failure. The ratings has shown that. He has become so bland and just boring. I wouldn't mind him coming in as at TLC, win the match, and just held on for the belt again at WrestleMania. Do Reigns Lesnar 2 at WrestleMania. Yeah, I said it. If you're not going to do anything else, Lesnar Reigns 2. But that story doesn't end. I give this a 9 out of 10. Great stuff. I give it a 9 instead of a 10 because the referee stoppage and such. But overall, this was a great match. At the end of the day, though, at the end of the pay-per-view, the Undertaker standing up and people chanting Undertaker, Undertaker. But then you have the Wyatt family come up there and Bray leading his flock, his newly formed family of Braun Strowman, Eric Rowan, and Luke Harper, destroying the dead man, beating him down to a point that he was already went through a war with Lesnar, but feeding the scraps of the dead man, not forgetting. Riot probably not has forgotten his loss at WrestleMania to the dead man, and then he has captured him, and he has captured him, and on Raw he took Kane as well. Hopefully they're going to do more than have him turn to corporate Kane and corporate Taker. I don't care. Hopefully they do some more with that. I think this might be tied into I think they're going to be tied into the Undertaker's Survivor Series match. I think it's going to be a Survivor Series match with them and the Wyatt family. And I think this is going to be the last Survivor Series for the Undertaker. But overall, this was actually a fun show. Nothing really memorable. Lesnar and Taker was great. And I probably would recommend watching it. But at the end of the day, though, it's a one-match show. And it shows here. It really does. Overall, I give this pay-per-view a 7 out of 10. The only two matches there that you really should go see is both of the Hell in a Cell matches, and that's pretty much it. Anyway, we're going to take a small little break here. After that, we're going to be talking about Monday Night Raw and all of the craziness and such afterwards. We'll be right back right after this. Back here, not live, but recorded here on the Dukect Lounge. Thank you so much for joining me here on TalkShoe.com. But if you're not listening on TalkShoe.com, remember you can listen to this on iTunes. Also not only on iTunes, but on YouTube, ScrewAttack.com, the Escapist Ones, Freaking Awesome Network, Manic Expression, That Guy with the Glasses video forums, Zipcast, and everything else in between. Well, YouTube Red hasn't taken me down yet, so I'm still here. And speaking of stuff, the Halloween review is, I'm still doing Death from Above, hopefully. It might be a little late, but I will be on the grindstone. I will be shooting after the show. That's why I'm doing this quickly. They're going to shoot after the show. I'm going to type everything up. I'm going to shoot after the show. After that, I'm going to go straight into editing tomorrow and on Saturday. Straight on editing after class. Just going to go straight in editing. I don't know if I'm going to have any time to do a live stream, but I'm just going to be editing. And if I can't make this live stream, I will do it right after I'm done with the episode, and I will do a live stream on Twitch. Yes, I'm doing my live streams on Twitch now. Hopefully, if things do go wrong and such, the Halloween review will be a little late on November 1st. It'll be a day after Halloween, and everything else. If things go bad or whatever, I will be doing that on November 1st and such. But there will be, hopefully, a review. Hopefully this weekend there will be a review. My Halloween review will be up. Anyway, let's talk about Monday Night Raw. Monday Night Raw was actually really good. No, really, it was actually really, really good. I think it was good because there was some consequences. There was actually consequences regarding last night's winners and losers. The winners were actually put in a little battle, a little bit of a mini gauntlet to see who was going to face Seth Rollins at SummerSlam. At Survivor Series. It was Dolph Ziggler, Cesaro, Neville, Alberto Del Rio, Roman Reigns, New Day, Kevin Owens, all the guys who won last night on Raw. Boom, boom. They are going to be in the main. They were fighting for a shot at the WWE Championship. First up was Alberto Del Rio versus Neville, and I really enjoyed this match. Both guys have some very good chemistry with each other. Neville and Alberto Del Rio win. Alberto Del Rio was really good. Alberto Del Rio wins with a double foot stomp, knocking down Neville, and that was it. Neville, looks good, but then again takes a loss. Hopefully, he will be the one to dethrone Alberto Del Rio for his United States Championship. That'd be nice. Next up, we had Roman Reigns take on one of the members of New Day, Big E. No, it wasn't Big E. It was Kofi Kingston. It was Kofi Kingston. It was really good. It was pretty good. I was rooting for Kofi because I want one of the members of New Day to win, but it was Roman Reigns, of course. It was going to be Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns picks up the victory and moves on to one of the Fatal 4 members. Next, it was, I believe, Owens and Cesaro. I didn't watch that. I think it was doing some. Doing something else. I can't remember. I think I was watching Supergirl, actually. Yeah, I watched Supergirl. It was actually a pretty good pilot. Not the best, but actually pretty good. By the way, that got a very high rating. So hopefully they're going to fix all the problems. First season, everything else, work out the bugs. Bada bing, bada boom. She's going to be the realest girl in the room. And don't worry about it. Yeah, I did enjoy it. Other things, though, the other matches, the stuff I did see of Raw, there was some good stuff. You had Ziggler take on Big E, and you had Prince Pretty, Tyler Breeze with Summer chilling in the VIP section. And the only thing was interesting with them, you had Big E take their big margarita and just drink it all like a boss. And Big E almost took up the victory, but Ziggler wins, and I'm just depressed because Ziggler should win. I want a member of the New Day to make it, but, alas, it wasn't meant to be. But then we had the Fatal 4-Way for the chance to become for a chance to face Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins was on commentary. I have to say this was great. This Fatal 4-Way is probably one of the best I've seen in a long time on Monday Night Raw. Rio, Cesaro, Del Rio, Owens, Ziggler, and Reigns have really good chemistry, especially Reigns and Owens. If for whatever reason Reigns doesn't beat Seth Rollins or what have you, I would love to see an Owens and Reigns feud. I think that would be very awesome. I think these two guys have very good chemistry with each other. I mean, heck, his with Reigns counter Owens' finishing move to the Superman Punch. I really love that. I think this was very good. The crowd was incensed. They were hyped up. Everyone's excited. I love that when the crowd's like that. I really love it when the crowd is just very positive and very positive vibes. It was a very good match, very good moment, and a very ending good moment with Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins looking at each other saying, that belt's going to be mine, man. It's going to be mine, man. Roman Reigns like, yeah. Then again, Sheamus does have that Money in the Bank briefcase, so yeah. I think he's ready to go. I think this is going to be a really good and very good and fun match. I'm here's hoping that this match is good and Sheamus does cash in. That means it will finally be the end of this whole craziness and such. Hey, but then again, that means, hey, if Reigns and Sheamus, I think that would actually be pretty awesome too. I think because two brutes going at it would probably be just amazing. Anyway, we're going to take another little break. We're going to talk a bit after that stuff right there. I'm going to be getting into Batman Arkham Knight PC re-release and the problems that, seems to be occurring with that re-release and such. You still have bugs. Why? I don't know. This is why, again, I do not trust next-gen gaming. We'll be right back right after this. This is the Dukect Lounge. Not really live, but here recorded here on, TalkShoe.com and such. So here is some more music. We are back live here on the Dukect Lounge. Thank you so much for joining me here on, iTunes, TalkShoe.com, Zipcast, YouTube /Dukect, Zipcast.com/Dukect. Also, you can use the same thing for YouTube.com/Dukect, the Freaking Awesome Network, Manic Expression, the Escapist Forums, Chesscast Studio Forums. I haven't posted there recently. Screw Attack forum, Screw Attack, the ScrewAttack.com video section. I'm gonna post there. The channel, I think, channel awesome forums, video forums, and anywhere else I can put my stuff there. Again, I'm humbled and thank you for every person I get to watch my little show. Thank you. I love y'all guys for it. Wow. Anyway, it's time to talk a little bit about Batman. 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 Yeah. Mwah. Okay, my horrible singing aside. Well, yeah. After the 4 months absence of glitches, bugs, problems, the PC re-release of Arkham Knight still has problems, boys and girls. As after 24 hours of this PC re-release, one would think they get rid of majority of the problems, which hopefully that means not anything game breaking. There's still gonna be like little bugs, a little bit twitching and things like that, but they're still having problems. Revealed problems including stuttering, plummeting frame rates, and freezing the game. According to this IGN article, there is going to be in fact, supposedly Warner Brothers has acknowledged it's felt two of the initial bugs that plagued the game. According to a blog post in the IGN article, warns players of a GPU issue affecting Windows 7 users that crops up after extended gameplay sessions and sees a hard drive paging issue occur. In fact, it sounds like the hard drive paging issue that originally caused so much trouble. Wow. It was basically the whole main part. One of the main problems of the game is not fixed. how do you screw this up, Warner Brothers? So at the end of the day, you have to relaunch the game. So while you're busy playing, chilling out playing, doing all that stuff, or doing a live stream, doing regular playing on your own on your PC. You can't do it. You have to relaunch the game. And the also advise right here. Let's see right here. That the Windows 10 owners would have to have at least 12 gigabytes of system RAM. Yes, 12 gigabytes of system RAMs in order to operate the game without paging and provide a smoother gaming experience. Even though the recommended specs still stand at 8 gigs per RAM. I'm not much of a PC person, but I guarantee there's some people that are. That even after all this time, it's saying that this is the next gen best PC ever. Everything else like that. This is supposed to be the greatest thing ever. They still have these type of problems. They still haven't ironed these things out. They still didn't get the job done. After all this time, they still haven't gotten the job done. It's stuff like this that realize that, these game makers, man, they just look at the dollars. They finish games half-assed. This is the patch culture in its true form. I know many of people have said this, and PC gaming has always had this problem. But no one sits and completes the game. We just go out there, and even I guarantee you stuff like Fallout 4. I know people out here can't wait to play it, but there's going to be so many bugs that come out of it. There's going to be a lot of bugs. There's going to be a lot of this, that, and the other. And it just frustrates me that in 2015, we just have the only answer to this, don't worry, they just patch it. Instead of, wait till the game is actually finished and then go and then release it. Actually play test. Make sure everything is completely done. Make sure any game-breaking bugs, glitches, or anything else that hampers any type of gameplay should not be released. I can't believe I have to say this. In 2015, the little lone YouTuber that will never ever rise to a problem. Hopefully one day that I be wrong and I do rise to a problem. But this is something that most people I just don't understand why this keeps happening. You, game developers, or anyone else, and all this other stuff, you can't keep releasing unfinished products. It just doesn't work. And now, you have, let's see, I think it was, I heard that there was some problems with Halo 5. And, I heard there was going to, stuff like that. I think there was, supposedly, wait a second. There's going to be problems with that as well. I mean, every new game now, I feel like it's just there's going to be glitches, this, that, the other, game-breaking glitches, this, that, the other, game-breaking stuff. And they'll say, well, we'll fix it and fix it there. Patches and everything else. I mean, movies don't run this way. TV shows don't run this way. No one runs this way except gaming. It seems like we, as gamers, let people off the hook. We shouldn't let them off the hook. We shouldn't. We should be saying, no, wait till the product is done. I understand there's going to be glitches and problems and such. And I get that. There's always going to be that type of little bit of beep, boop type of stuff. That little bit of problems in a game. I understand that. Most people do. But when you have game-breaking glitches, like you see these supposed AAA next-gen, oh my god, this is going to be the best thing ever. They don't fix these things. They never do. And that is why a lot of these problems happen. This is why, I guarantee why software sells. They might be looking good now, but I guarantee that's why people have to stop buying newer titles and such. Lower software sales and such the past couple years. This is the reason why. Anyway, that's what the show for this evening. And I end on a dour note again. This is supposed to be a fun tradition. If you want, just maybe send me some happier stories. I mean, you need to look some more stuff up. But that rant need to be said. Anyway, thank you so much for listening and watching if you're on YouTube and such. Remember, like, comment, rate, subscribe, all that great stuff. All that crazy stuff you YouTubers do. Anyway, thank you so much for listening. It's Duke CT here. Peace and love. I'll see y'all when I see y'all later.